everyone, it's James here, and in this short presentation, I would like to discuss with you the importance of beliefs and values. We've discussed in some depth the importance of communication. So over the last few weeks, as you know, we've explored the importance of communication and the coach, the important role that communication plays in the work that we do as life coaches. So I'm sure you're in agreement with me when I say that how we communicate with our clients is critically important. We cannot not communicate. We are communicating all the time, both verbally and non-verbally. Even when we say nothing, we are saying something. We cannot not communicate. We are communicating all the time with our clients. How we communicate, therefore, will have a significant impact upon the client. What we believe will, for example, be communicated to the client. It's critically important that we realize this, that what we believe will be communicated to the client. The belief, for example, that we have in the client's ability to achieve the outcomes they set for themselves will influence how much belief they have in themselves. That's so important that I will say it again. The belief that we have in our client's ability to achieve will influence how much belief they have in themselves. And what we believe about the client will be represented and expressed in our behavior, how we interact and respond to the client. And what the client believes about themselves will impact on their behavior and the actions that they take, which in turn will influence us in how we continue to work with our clients. We will communicate a great deal to our clients, including what we believe, but we will also be communicating what is of value to us as coaches. So we're not just communicating what we believe about the client's ability to achieve, but we're communicating what we believe. We're communicating basically everything that we stand for, everything that's important to us. But we're also communicating what we value. So let's have a look at beliefs and values in a little bit more detail. So what is a belief? And what are values? Now, beliefs and values are interrelated, but they are not the same thing. So what's the difference between them? Well, a belief is a deeply held opinion. It's a perspective which we in some way assume to be the truth. A belief is a point of view, it's an idea, it's a perspective, it's an assumption, but it isn't necessarily the truth. A belief isn't necessarily true, it's a belief. They are simply a personal way of seeing the world. Our beliefs represent our personal world view, and we all see the world differently because we all have a different set of beliefs. And it's important to bear in mind that our beliefs will also change over time. The beliefs we held as children, for example, will not be the same beliefs that we hold today as adults. The beliefs that you held before you became a life coach are not the same as the beliefs that you hold now that you are coaching. Many beliefs will be discarded throughout our lives as we grow and develop, and new ones will be formed. Old beliefs the ones that we've had for a very, very long time, may get stronger, may become more deeply ingrained in our thinking. Our beliefs influence what we pay attention to. They also influence what we ignore, what we don't pay attention to. And our beliefs influence what we feel. They also influence our actions and our behavior. And so our beliefs also have a huge influence on the results we get in life. Our beliefs develop at an unconscious level and come from many different sources, including our environment, our family, our upbringing, the experience we had of schooling and our education, the friendships that we have formed and developed, and so on. It may be easy to assume, therefore, that we don't have much of a say in how our beliefs are formed. We may think our beliefs are influenced directly by the information we absorb as a direct result of our experiences, but this is not necessarily the case. In fact, we delete, we distort much of the information that our senses absorb over time. We also make generalizations all the time. And there is a simple biological reason for this. Our nervous system, through the 5 senses, is being bombarded all the time, literally by thousands of bits of data, every second of every single day. The senses of sight, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, our senses are being bombarded by literally billions of bits of data every second of every day. Unfortunately, we're not able to process all of this information simultaneously. Our brains couldn't possibly process all of that information simultaneously. It needs to conserve energy. It needs to be efficient. And so what our brains do rather brilliantly is that our brains delete, distort, and generalize this information, the information that we are receiving. How does our brains know what to delete, what to distort, what to generalize, what to notice, what to ignore? Our brains learn to do this based on what we believe. We notice the information that supports our beliefs while simultaneously ignoring information that contradicts it. Our beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. Self-fulfilling prophecies that may be resistant to change. Our beliefs, in other words, create our reality, and we act in accordance with that reality. Take, for example, 2 people who are overweight. One person says, I'm overweight because I have a slow metabolism. I'm genetically predisposed to be like this. That's what they believe. They believe they're overweight because of their metabolism. This person believes that there is nothing that can be done about their weight, and so they make no effort to exercise or change their eating plan. Another person with the same problem, they're also overweight, may think differently. They believe that their weight problem is due to a poor diet or a poor eating plan and the fact that they don't do enough exercise. They have seen other people change their lifestyle and lose weight, and so they choose to do the same. This person believes it is possible to change, and as a result of their beliefs, they take action and they change. Core beliefs are those beliefs that are the most important to us. They form our most deeply held beliefs, and as such, they are critically important to us. They have a crucial role to play in the formation of our identity. Our core beliefs can be so strong that we may never even question them. We may not recognize them. We may not question them. A belief might be all people are equal, but they are not the same. As a result of having a belief such as this, we see and we appreciate people as individuals. And if everyone is different, then so am I. This particular belief can also have a positive influence on how I see myself. I see myself as unique too. So, an activity for you to think about, finding out your core beliefs. Reflect for a moment on what it means to you to be a life coach. What opinions do you hold about the work you do? What beliefs do you hold about yourself, your clients, and your colleagues? What beliefs of yours are useful and helpful to you? Which ones are beneficial? Which beliefs empower you? But also, what beliefs might be holding you back? What limiting beliefs might you hold which could be blocking you and stopping you from progressing in your learning and in your development? If you were to challenge and change a particular belief, which one would you change? And how might that change be of benefit to you? Beliefs, I think it's important to understand, are neither right or wrong, true or false, good or bad. I think it's best to ask ourselves with regards to belief, is it helpful? Think about beliefs as being either helpful or unhelpful. So when you recognize a belief that you hold about yourself or the work you do as a coach, or indeed a belief that you might hold about your client, say to yourself, is this helpful? If it is, you may wish to keep that belief. If not, you may wish to challenge and change it. Beliefs you held in the past may have changed because they have outlived their usefulness for you. So many of the beliefs that you've held in the past, beliefs that you don't hold today, you might have let those beliefs go because they weren't helpful to you anymore. They might have been helpful to you in the past, but not anymore. A woman following the breakdown of her relationship or her marriage, for example, a woman whose marriage breaks down, she may believe at that time that men can't be trusted. But she may change this belief when she meets somebody rather special later in life. So beliefs can be deeply ingrained, but they can be changed if we want them to change. So let's just move on now and talk about values. I'm encouraging you here to think about the similarities and the differences between beliefs and values. Beliefs, as we have seen, are deeply held opinions or perspectives which we hold and which for one reason or another we consider to be true. But they are not the truth. They are simply our personal way of seeing the world, and we all see the world differently. Values are what matters the most to us. We are motivated by our values. They represent our guide to living. Our values provide us with the reason for doing what we do. They are the standards by which we live our lives. Our career choices, whether we marry or not, what we do to relax, what we decide to study and learn are all determined by our values. Our values, like our beliefs, develop through experiences, including our upbringing, our schooling, our friendships, the media, and so on. Values, like beliefs, also change as we grow over time, and they can also shift depending on the experiences we are having at any given moment in time or any given moment in our lives. For example, we may have career development high on our agenda as a value, but this may change following a serious illness or bereavement. Health and family may overtake our career development as a value following a change such as these. Our values can also change because as we grow, we come into contact with different people who have new and different experiences to ours. And these people in turn might have different value systems to ours, and we may learn from their value systems or be influenced by it. We may also change our values in response simply to growing older. Financial security, for example, may not be a value when we are in our early 20s, but may become an important value to us as we reach middle age and so on. We can also have several values running concurrently, and it can be difficult working out how to manage our values or how to manage our time and our energy as a result of that. Most people have personal interests as a core value along with family and career. And it can be difficult working on all of these sort of simultaneously. Generally speaking, the best approach is to strike a good balance between all three of these very important value system. So, you know, we might have work, leisure, and family as three very important value systems. We may feel a little bit conflicted as to how we put our time and energy into these values. I would suggest that we just try and create a balance between all of those values, which are important to us. So think about the balance wheel, achieving balance across what's most important to us. We are motivated by two types of values: those which pull us towards something that's important to us, and those that push us away from what we don't want. For example, do you work because you want to be secure financially, or do you work because you don't want to live in poverty? Wanting security is a towards value because you're moving towards security. Avoiding poverty is an away value because you're moving away from poverty. If we concentrate on moving away from poverty, then the problem is that poverty is what we will get, because that's what we're focused on. We're focused on avoiding poverty. So poverty is top of our mind. We need to think about focusing on what we want, not what we fear might happen. We need to concentrate on what we want, not what we don't want, if we are to make powerful changes in our life. So here's an activity for you. Identify an aspect of your life that's important to you. For example, being a life coach. To help discover what your values are in relation to being a life coach, ask yourself the following question: what is important to me about being a life coach? Write down as many words as possible. Then choose the 8 words out of that list that mean the most to you. Now put these words in order of preference, with the most important being at the top and the least important at the bottom. So you're actually creating a mind map to begin with of just as many words as you can possibly think of that represent the values that represent your commitment to life coaching, for example. And then look at those words and select the 8 most important ones, the ones that jump out at you, the 8 words, the 8 values, if you like, that jump out at you as being the most important, and then put those in order of preference. Here are examples of some value words: friendship, energy, closeness, connection, discipline, freedom, being of service, peace of mind, loyalty, recognition, wealth, zest, balance, whatever it might be, wisdom, authenticity, closeness, contribution. So once you've got an idea, they're just examples. You could come up with 3 times as many words, value words, as these. But the idea is that you're working at defining the most important values for you as a coach. And then what you need to do is ask yourself, am I living that value? To what extent is that value, or these values, to what extent am I living these each and every day in my life? So, in summary, the beliefs and values we hold have a significant impact on us, but they also have a significant impact on our clients. Our clients are more likely to believe in themselves if we, as their coach, believe in them. Knowing that we are being of service is an important value of ours. It will also help the client to develop confidence in us and in our ability to coach them successfully. So knowing that being of service is an important value of yours, and making that known through the work that you do will help your client have confidence in you and in the process of you coaching them. So thank you very much, folks. I hope you found that helpful and enjoyable, and I look forward to meeting you soon and to be continuing to work with you.